The movie opens with the narration of a young girl named Bethany Hamilton, who grows up in a surfing family on the beautiful island of Kauai, Hawaii. From a young age, she shares her passion for the ocean and dreams of becoming a professional surfer. Bethany spends more time in the water than on the shore, completely immersed in her love for the waves. One day, while she is enjoying a surf session, her brother Noah calls her to join the family at a beach church service. The atmosphere is lively, filled with music that brings the community together. Later at home, Bethany's parents, Sherry and Thomas Hamilton, have a playful surfing competition in the water, while Bethany and her brothers, Noah and Timmy, watch and rate their skills. After the fun competition, the entire family comes together to enjoy the sun and surf at the beach, cherishing their time together in their ocean paradise. One day, Bethany, her family, and her best friend Alana Blanchard enter a small surfing competition. The winners of this event will have the chance to compete at the regional level. There are 6 competitors in total, and the event attracts the attention of Hawaiian surfing legend Ben Ipa. Both Bethany and Alana are excited to participate. As the competition kicks off, Alana takes the lead in the first round, securing first place, while Bethany finds herself in third position, just behind their rival, Melina Birch, who is in second. After a brief break before the final round, Bethany receives guidance from her father, Thomas, on how to improve her performance. When the final round begins, Bethany surges ahead and ultimately wins, leaving Melina in second and Alana in third. The girls celebrate their victory, but Melina chooses not to join in and walks away. Meanwhile, a representative from Rip Curl approaches Bethany and Alana with an exciting offer to sponsor both of them, which fills them with excitement. After the competition, Bethany and Alana decide to grab something from nearby stalls. There, they encounter Melina, who confidently tells them that she plans to beat them next time. After the short exchange, Melina walks away. Later, at church, youth ministry leader Sarah Hill leads a session designed to help young people change their outlook when facing difficulties. She encourages them to see challenges as opportunities for growth and resilience. After the service, Bethany approaches Sarah and informs that she will not be able to join the church mission trip to Mexico because she needs to focus on the upcoming surfing contest. Instead, she donates some items for Sarah to take to Mexico while deciding to stay back and practice. Bethany shares her confusion about the situation, hoping for advice, but her mother, Cherie, simply tells her that it is ultimately her decision and leaves the choice up to her. That night, Bethany and Alana quietly slip out of their room to go night surfing, while Sherry and Thomas are preoccupied with checking the weather and wave conditions for the next day. The girls revel in the thrill of surfing under the stars, enjoying the festive atmosphere of Halloween. The following morning, Cherie discovers their late-night adventure and asks why they did not tell her. Thomas joins the conversation and says they thought she would not let them go if they asked. Both girls agree with him. During their discussion, it also comes to light that Thomas is scheduled for knee surgery that day. Shortly after Thomas leaves for the hospital, Alana's father, Holt Blanchard, and his brother Byron arrive at the Hamiltons' home to pick up the girls for a quick surfing practice. While they enjoy their time in the water, Thomas is being prepared for his surgery. Out in the ocean, Bethany and Alana excitedly discuss their recent sponsorship by Rip Curl, which includes a photo shoot opportunity. Suddenly, a shark approaches and attacks Bethany, resulting in the loss of her left arm. Alana screams and rushes to her father and brother for help. The Blanchard family quickly assists in getting Bethany to shore. Once they arrive, Holt instructs Byron to call 911. In a panic, Byron breaks into the car to grab the phone. Holt uses his shirt to apply pressure to Bethany's injury, while Alana remains in tears. Byron manages to inform both 911 and Sherry about the incident before returning to help carry Bethany to the car. As they move her, she calls for her mother. At the hospital, just as Thomas's surgery is about to start, a nurse rushes in, stating that they need to clear the room for a shark attack victim. Worried, Thomas asks about the girl, and the doctor steps out to gather more information. Moments later, the doctor returns with the news that the victim is his own daughter, Bethany. Overwhelmed, Thomas tries to get to her but is stopped due to the medication he has received, which prevents him from walking. Meanwhile, the Blanchard family is rushing Bethany, who is in the trunk of their vehicle, to meet the ambulance, as she has already lost a significant amount of blood. On their way to the hospital, Sherry and Noah spot them and follow closely behind. When they arrive at the hospital, Thomas sees Bethany being wheeled toward the emergency room and attempts to reach her, but hospital staff block his path. As Bethany starts to drift in and out of consciousness, she envisions herself surfing on the waves. After her treatment, Bethany regains consciousness but still feels pain in her arm, which she shares with her family gathered around her. Thomas asks Noah to call the doctor while Holt comes to visit. When the doctor arrives, he refers to Bethany as a living miracle, explaining that despite losing over 60% of her blood, she is doing surprisingly well. However, he tells her that she will need to learn to adjust to her new situation and may feel unwell for a few days. That night, Bethany asks Thomas when she can surf again. He reassures her that she will be back in the water soon and encourages her not to lose hope. This ordeal has been very stressful for the Hamilton family, and Alana also struggles with the incident. Her father tries to comfort her and suggests she visit her friend. The next day, while Bethany watches news coverage of the shark attack, Alana comes to see her. They share their feelings about the incident, and to help restore some normalcy, Bethany brings up the talk about the photo shoot. Alana initially plans to skip it, but Bethany encourages her to go ahead and do it for both of them. Days later, Bethany is discharged from the hospital, and Sherry is there to pick her up. Her father and brothers are waiting for her at home. On their way, she notices encouraging messages written on surfboards by the roadside, which lifts her spirits a little. When they arrive home, they are met by a swarm of reporters eager to ask about the shark attack. Thomas quickly steps in, trying to send them away, but realizing he cannot make them leave, he takes control of the situation and drives them through the back of the house. Once inside, Bethany tries to help her mother make sandwiches, but struggles with simple tasks in the kitchen, like cutting and opening packages. This difficulty makes her family feel sad for her. As they sit down for lunch together, Thomas shares some news. Holt has received a call from a show called Inside Edition, which is willing to provide Bethany with a prosthetic arm if she agrees to do an interview. Excited by the idea of a custom arm that would allow her to surf again, and with all costs covered, she agrees to the deal. However, the days ahead are challenging for Bethany as she works hard to manage even the simplest tasks. A short time later, Bethany visits the hospital to have her stitches removed. Both she and her mother feel a mix of emotions, but try to keep them hidden. After the procedure, Sherry goes to Thomas and breaks down, expressing her worries for Bethany. Once the stitches are out, Bethany heads to see Sarah, who has just returned from Mexico. Overwhelmed, Bethany shares her feelings, struggling to understand how this fits into God's plan for her. Sarah comforts her, suggesting that this could lead to something positive in the future. That same night, Thomas learns that some fishermen have caught and killed the shark that attacked Bethany, which brings him a sense of satisfaction. He even checks the size of the shark's mouth against the bite mark on Bethany's surfboard. The next day, Alana is having a photo shoot at the beach while Bethany watches from a distance. During a break, Alana comes over and invites Bethany to join her, but Bethany declines. She feels upset as she sees a boy surfing in the ocean waves and watches Alana enjoying her shoot. At home, Bethany makes breakfast for her family and proposes that they all start surfing again together. Her family supports her idea, so they take her to the ocean, where she gets back to training despite a few unsuccessful attempts. After her time in the water, she tells her family that she plans to compete in the regional competition. On Thanksgiving night, Thomas raises a toast to Bethany, expressing gratitude to God for her survival and for being with them. Later, Sherry approaches Holt and thanks him for saving Bethany, saying it has brought their family closer together. In the next scene, Inside Edition presents Bethany with a prosthetic arm that looks perfect and has bendable joints. However, she rejects it when she learns that it is not suitable for surfing because it cannot support her weight. Overwhelmed with emotion, she runs to her room. Sherry follows her, trying to lift her spirits by reminding her that she does not need the prosthetic arm to surf. She reassures Bethany that she is beautiful by showing her a statue of Venus de Milo, which, despite not having arms, is still celebrated as a symbol of beauty. With her newfound determination, Bethany returns to the water to train for the regional competition. Noah records her training sessions so they can analyze her balance and identify areas for improvement. Gradually, she also learns to manage her daily chores on her own. Finally, the day of the Hawaiian Island Regionals arrives, drawing thousands of spectators to the event. While there, Bethany hears news of a tsunami that has devastated thousands of people in Thailand. She also notices one of her church members collecting donations for those affected by the Indian Ocean tsunami. At the registration counter, Bethany encounters Melina, who comments on her participation in the competition. However, Bethany brushes off the remark, choosing not to engage further. As the participants prepare, the judges offer Bethany a 5-minute head start, but she declines, especially because she notices Melina watching and overhearing their conversation. During the competition, Bethany struggles to catch the waves and finds herself in 6th place, while Melina takes the lead and Alana secures 2nd place. In the second round, Bethany gets lost in the waves but manages to advance. Melina attempts to block Bethany from catching a wave, and although Alana tries to intervene, her actions lead to her disqualification from the race. Meanwhile, Bethany gets caught in another big wave, causing her surfboard to break, which also results in her disqualification. This frustrates Bethany, and she becomes angry with Alana for not trusting her skills and for interfering with her rivalry. An argument ensues and Bethany storms off to the vehicle. Despite Thomas's attempts to encourage her, she refuses to listen. On her way to the car, a group of girls asks for her autograph, but instead she gives them her surfboard, contemplating quitting surfing altogether. Back at home, Thomas and Cherie have a heated argument. Thomas refuses to give up on Bethany's surfing skills, while Cherie insists that she needs to make her own decisions, despite his constant pressure. Thomas wants Bethany to return to surfing as she has done since childhood, but Cherie has come to terms with the fact that things will be different for her since the incident. She worries that if Bethany only finds happiness in surfing, any disappointment could leave her feeling lost. Bethany overhears their argument and turns up the volume on the television, watching footage of herself winning in the past. Later, as the sun sets, Thomas joins Bethany at the shore. She opens up about her feelings of loss, but Thomas reassures her that she has not lost everything. The shark did not kill her, and she still has a loving family. Bethany asks what she should do now, feeling uncertain about her future. Thomas admits he does not have all the answers, but he tells her that she will find clarity about her path when the time is right. Next, Bethany decides to join Sarah to Thailand to help those affected by the tsunami. Upon arriving, she is shocked by the extent of the destruction caused by the disaster. The group soon meets a woman named Rosemary, who is also working to assist the local community. Together, Sarah's team and Bethany start distributing supplies to the residents. Later, Bethany speaks with a local woman who shares her story of how her life was normal until the tsunami struck, taking her family away. Moved by her pain, Bethany cannot hold back her tears. Seeing her distress, Sarah approaches to comfort her and encourages her to take a moment before rejoining the team. They continue handing out supplies until they come across a young boy who has not spoken since losing his family. Bethany asks the boy if he wants to go into the water, but he shakes his head and runs away. Noticing several surfboards nearby, she grabs one and heads into the ocean, hoping to help the boy overcome his fear. After playing in the water and encouraging him to join her, the boy eventually comes in. As they enjoy themselves together, a crowd gathers on the shore, applauding Bethany and joining her in the water. Sarah explains that Bethany has learned that surfing is not everything. Love and support are the most powerful tools for overcoming fear. After returning from her trip to Thailand, Bethany discovers the living room filled with letters from her international fans and supporters. The overwhelming support inspires her to get back into surfing. She approaches Thomas, asking for his help and telling him that she wants to compete again. This time, Thomas does not push her. He sees that Bethany has made this decision from her heart and her own will. Bethany asks him to help her avoid getting overwhelmed by the waves when she dives. Thomas presents her with a surfboard he has modified, adding a small handle that will help her stay balanced while paddling out. Bethany is impressed by her father's effort to assist her in this way. Soon, she gets back into the water to start training. Sherry questions whether Bethany can use that kind of board in the competition, and Thomas explains that the judges only care about how well she catches and rides the waves, not the type of boards. Alana also joins Bethany in the water, and they resolve their past issues, becoming friends again. Together, they practice diligently, working to improve Bethany's surfing skills. The day of the Rip Curl Junior National Surfing Championship arrives, and both Bethany and Alana are ready to compete. Before the competition starts, Thomas offers Bethany some important advice. He believes she has a natural talent for sensing when the best waves will come, so he encourages her to trust her instincts and wait for the right moment, even if the ocean seems quiet. Bethany then approaches Melina and thanks her for not underestimating her. As the commentator begins the competition, he emphasizes that there will be no easy rides, and the horn signals the start. Throughout the competition, Bethany performs well enough to reach the semifinals, even though she faces challenges and is often overpowered by Melina. As time winds down, both girls compete fiercely for a single wave. In a tense moment, Bethany manages to catch the wave, leaving Melina to wait for another one. This impressive ride earns her a score of 9.7, the highest of the heat. As the final moments of the competition tick away, everyone is eagerly watching for another wave, but Bethany begins to paddle away from the lineup, leaving others puzzled. Just as a large wave forms, she catches it right when the horn sounds. She is the only competitor to ride that wave, showcasing an outstanding performance that impresses the crowd. Moments later, the commentator announces that Bethany's last wave will not count because she stood up after the horn had sounded. This means Melina is declared the winner, with Alana taking second place and Bethany finishing in fifth. During the award ceremony, Melina invites Bethany to join her on stage, praising her toughness and acknowledging that, while the judges did not count her last wave, she still did. After the awards, Bethany agrees to give an interview for her fans and supporters. In her heartfelt message, she expresses that she would not change what happened to her, as the incident has allowed her to connect with more people than she ever could have with two arms. Bethany concludes by saying that having faith is essential, and anything is possible. She encourages everyone to endure the challenges they face in life, as they never know what the next wave may bring in their life. The scene fades out, revealing that the following year, Bethany not only wins first place in the competition, but also receives several prestigious awards, including the Teen Choice Courage Award and the ESPY for Best Comeback of the Year.